What's up? What's up?
Hello.
What's up, y'all? What's happening? It's SW Live. It's Wednesday, September 13th. And this past Monday, I believe, the country was posting all these these quotes about 9/11 because it was 9/11 celebration on Monday. And it was a lot of quotes going around, and I failed to remember about 9/11 until it happened, until they started posting. I was like, oh, it is 9/11, you know. And so for those who acknowledge 9/11, you know, remembrance, RIP for the people that were lost on that day. But welcome to SW Live. Yes, it is the second Wednesday of the month, and y'all know that's time for Gen Z. And I'm always off camera, and it's their time to shine. So we're gonna let them take over the floor. Of course, we're gonna do the quote and everything, and lead into what they're going to discuss. But for now, I want y'all to go. We're gonna go around the room as we do and see how everybody's doing. And I hope everybody got some little pep in their step. You know what I'm saying? Put some energy behind it. And just be wholesome about what you got going on, because a lot of us got some good shit going on. So even when we don't think that it really is good, it's something good going on. Right? So all right, so Jay, what's happening?
Nothing at all. But this week, the past few weeks has been just chill, relax, just been working on my business and getting it to a better place. So.
Okay. E, what's going on?
Nothing.
I mean, what we did recently for you, we did something.
On a college tour to Clark. And that's pretty much it.
Where's Clark?
In Atlanta. Yes. It was pretty live. Clark is a dope school.
Yeah. The campus is nice as well.
Mm-hmm. Very. Shiloh.
I'm in sushi training at my job. I'm learning how to make sushi. So I find that pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Also just doing TCC, the grind, general classes. I don't have a major yet, but it's okay. And yeah, school and work. That's all it is right now.
Okay.
And my one day of relaxation.
Your self-care day.
Yeah, self-care day.
Your self-care day. Okay. That's important. All right. So, of course, we we got Nico coming in. He'll probably be in a little later on, and we'll he's gonna jump into the conversation as well. But so for now, we're gonna go ahead and get into the quotes and let the group take off from the quote. All right. What's the comment over there? I can't even see. Let me go back to my I want one of them Jada plates. That's what the comment says, Jay. I want one of them Jada plates. Mr. Dennis Williams said, I want one of them Jada plates.
Oh. Well, look out. I'll be looking tomorrow.
He's not even in the city. That's why he wants his bag, because he's not here.
Oh, I'm thinking he in the city.
So yeah, she definitely be busting out here, Dennis. So definitely, whenever you are in the city, make sure you get one of them. Grab one of them Jada plates. All right. So the quote of the day is. Let me go to the quote. I do this for the generations coming behind me. What do you all think of the quotes? That's just the quote. That's just the quote. And I want y'all to think about that, because I'm gonna tell y'all at the end of the discussion about the quote, the age group that this person that wrote the quote came from.
we're just supposed to say
Mhm.
like what we think about it.
Whatever you think about it.
Okay. I say like whoever's saying this likes to think about the future, and they like to envision how they would like it to be, or how they would want their kids to grow up, the next generation. So they want to make sure that you know things are set in place so that what maybe like the struggles that they had to go through, the next generation or their kids might not have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about it, at least for the generation after me, I would say I guess they using it as like I'm leaving a legacy, I guess, or like, I'm doing stuff so like when I'm gone or it can be passed down, I guess I'm doing this for. So if it just keep going,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just say that.
But what do
From
you
just
think
off
about
the
it?
sentence.
Well, what do you think about it? How do
you
you feel about it? How do you feel about the quote? You know what they're meaning. You know what the meaning of the quote is. What do you think about the quote? How would you like interpret how you would utilize it?
I don't understand.
Like as far as would you feel like you're doing something for the generation
After me?
Yeah. Like how do you feel about the fact that this quote is saying that I do this for the generations behind me? Like, so the reason why I'm living my life, the reason why I'm doing the things that I'm doing is so that things can be better for the next person. Do you feel like that's what you're planning to do? That's your goal? Like that's what I mean about it. How do you feel about it in that manner?
I guess in that manner I would say, yeah. But me personally, no. I'm not doing nothing for the people after me. I'm probably I mean because my business or my career
That's for the people behind you though. You don't think so?
I don't know, I'm just confused by the quote. So I think we have to get more into it because just that one sentence is throwing me off. It's like, it's just like one of her. I do this for the generation coming behind me. So yes, I agree with that. But I mean,
I would think that they're saying something like, if they're doing something positive, they're doing that for the people that can gain from it, that's coming behind them. So,
well then,
yeah, something like that. Like I would think. So I would feel like if you're doing something that's going to create a legacy from your business, if you're doing something that's going to create a legacy in your family or different things like that, that would be, yes, you're doing something for the generation behind you. But what else do y'all think about that?
I just think it's like each generation leaves an impact for the next generation to follow, basically.
Say it again, E.
Each generation leaves an impact for the next generation to follow.
Yes. And so however much you put into it is going to be what they can get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really like the same thing with what we have to do. So when you say certain things, like because I was so mad yesterday when I said so many people that don't feel you, I mean that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very impactful statement because our generation has to build up the next generation. And there's so many people that had children and didn't think about that while they was raising children. They was just thinking about, I'm just gonna feed them and clothe them and send them to school.
Mm-hmm.
Just the normal things. All right.
Not actually like doing stuff to lead.
Right, to teach them
or motivate the people under them.
And to make them become better people, prepare for things that may be disastrous, just out here really just letting them fiend and go on their own for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I do this for the generations coming behind me and people who have actually done some things that have put into the community, that have advocated, that have done certain fashions of this world to try to make a difference. They're going to feel like they put something back in to what they were able to get out of it. And because I was able to take advantage of going to community centers and as a child and getting a lot of my activities, the things that kind of structured me to be able to do things to become the person who I am, because you didn't just learn all of that at home. You know what I'm saying? You had to have places that you were sent sometime to help you gain those things, learning how to sew, learning how to cook, learning how to do all those other things. We learned those outside of the home as well as inside of the home. So it's like a continued thing. That's the type of things you want to put back into the community so that people and that children have hope and substance that they can take that on. If this is not a continual thing, what do you think generations will do?
Come up with their own thing, maybe.
Or what do y'all think? Like, that's a good one though, because they definitely gonna.
Because I don't think they're gonna fall.
It may not fall, but they're gonna definitely have some things to have to restructure, because it's gonna have to be a whole new restructure, because they're gonna have a source of a lot of things, so they'll have to restart a lot of policies, restart a lot of different things. But other than that, like I definitely wasn't thinking about the failure thing, but I was thinking about the fact that if you don't have the things that are already ingrained and implanted in certain aspects, it's going to be difficult for people to learn a whole new aspect of life and monopoly and all the different stuff.
Yeah, it's not something with like people is teaching us. It's like you will have to figure out everything.
And why do y'all think that is? Do y'all think that? Do you think that your parents did not like prepare you for like the downfall of what happened if it go bad?
I think well, I think my parents did all right. I say you really gotta, if you really want to survive, you'll do it on your own.
That's real.
You know?
That's real. Like that. When it boil down to it, whatever you got to do, you're gonna have to do it.
If you want to learn how to like make a fire, then you're gonna open up a book and learn how to make a fire. You're gonna ask somebody how to make a fire, and just simple stuff, like simple survival stuff, or just like even modern day stuff. You're gonna go out. There's books. Like they ain't gonna burn all the books down. You can go read some books. You don't necessarily need, the people before if they suddenly like die off or something. Yeah.
It's definitely resources. There's resources out there.
For it. Yeah, yourself basically.
That's why I said it wouldn't be like a failure thing. I just feel like it'll be harder. So you just have to figure out everything on your own. Like it ain't your mama teach you how to go pee. You gotta figure out how to pee on your own. It ain't your mom teach you how to ride a bike. It's you fit your dad. Like it's like you figure everything on your own, so it's gonna take longer and take more time if the generation before don't leave behind anything. So like if you didn't leave behind things, then we wouldn't just know it because of being taught it. We have to know it from like working to
survival tactics too. So based on what you were already groomed to do and how you were raised, those will be some things that will help you be able to organize, having to be under a different structure. Because it ain't always bad. You know what I'm saying? Everything about having to go through something don't mean you just at the rock bottom crawling out with your fingernails scraping the concrete. It's not always that bad. So, all right. So, I do this for the generations coming behind me. When we used to think about stuff like that, we used to think so deeply. Like, it was on us to save the next generation. You know what I'm saying? We did, because
y'all can't save nobody.
I mean, baby,
y'all ain't God.
It ain't about that type of saving, not that type of saving. It's what you have to do on land saving, being preparing, that type of saving, making sure that y'all are prepared.
Mhm.
So we feel like doing a study, 70% out of the 100% of parents actually took more time into actually being parents, but they say the other 30% is the kids pretty much was raising themselves, and that that's a different type of survival.
Mhm.
So
That's like,
Imagine your parents not telling you that.
That's wrong, or you can't do that.
that's just a whole different level. So all right, so we're gonna jump into our discussion today, y'all, because we got a pretty solid discussion today, and I want y'all to delve into it as much as possible. Um, Kids, how do y'all feel about having them?
I feel like kids is a huge responsibility to take on. So whenever you do end up having to take on, whenever you do end up taking on that responsibility, you need to make sure you're ready. And even if you're not ready, I feel like you need to prepare yourself. Like some people just think, oh, just like
Kids is a sport. We just have to. We're doing this for fun.
Something cute.
Yeah, something cute and just easy.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like kids are easy, especially how the world is going now. It's getting hard. So I feel like if you're going to take that step, be financially stable, your mind need to be on straight. A lot of stuff need to go into part when having kids. You just can't be like, oh yeah, I'm still me, but I'm just gonna have a +1. No, you need to change up a lot of stuff that you got going on.
Yeah. I feel the same way Erica feel. Like, I don't know, like kids is just not something you just, oh my God, we're gonna have a kid tomorrow, or we're gonna plan to have a kid. Like, I feel like that's something you really have to think about. Like, that's something you really sit down and you planning out your life, and you make you're financially stable, because kids are expensive. Kids they run up a bag, so that ain't just something. Because then when you have a child, you're not just providing even for just the child. You got to provide for you and the child. Like, so that's a lot.
+1.
Yeah. So I just think having a kid, just make sure you actually ready to, and not just even money wise, mentally. Because a lot of people, they decide to give up their kids because they're not ready, or people have breakdowns. They crying every night because you just won't stop crying. Like, you have to be like mentally ready for that. And
so usually kids, because they're not ready for.
Yeah, right.
That's real. So that's definitely real. And the one thing about that, Jay, is that you said a mouthful with that, because the mental part is, you added a different structure to it. Because for one, if the, I know I've seen one thing is this: if you are able, if the country made it easy for you to be able to provide for your child without struggling, and you have everything you need for your child, and I ain't talking about government assistance, I'm saying that where stuff didn't have to be so damn expensive. You know what I'm saying? Where you can actually not think about finances more than thinking about loving your kids. If you had the opportunity to love your kids more and not worry about how much it costs to take care of kids, it would be easier to think about wanting to have children, because there wouldn't be the stress. There wouldn't be the stress of financial.
Like I said, kids are still a +1.
Everything
in your life changes when you have
having
kids.
a partner gonna be the +1.
Just the finance.
I ain't taking care of my partner though.
Yeah,
I'm not raising my partner. My partner already grown.
Take out the financial responsibility of having a kid. It's the long nights you're gonna have to be up with that child. It's the countless days you're gonna have to, whether you taking that child to school, they gotta learn, you gotta teach them different things. It's not just about financial stuff.
That's a whole nother job.
You without kids going to school, you paying for school, you still have to teach them different things. They not
so even if you take the financial, right? Even if you take the financial part out, it's still not, let's just go have a kid. No.
You still gotta wake up 20 minutes
Yeah,
at
like-
night just to feed a kid. You still gotta go through labor and delivery.
Yeah, like that's the. I don't think that's just something you just people. Oh my God, I can't wait to have a child. You need to be ready for that.
That's why I say your mind has to be on straight. Just not your financial responsibilities, but your mind also, because a kid can take a lot on you. And you can't just call and be like, oh, I need a mental health day. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a partner, you guys can take turns. If you really are doing it right and having a kid with somebody that you can raise your kid with, and y'all have that together.
But you gotta also think about it. If I have a partner that's doing it right, we're both doing the same things.
But
So we both need that break.
no,
So
that's
you
what I'm
can't
saying.
just
You
say
take
you're
turns.
doing
You
that.
take turns with the break. That's what I'm saying. Like it's very people do this all the time. There are very, very healthy relationships where people are raising families where there are no quarrels on who gets mental health days, because they know during the week they're going through the same thing. They're going through the same thing. Each person gonna need those days though. So it's just it's all in how you have it, how you set your plan up. That's why it is a time to think about it and put it together and work through it with that person and making sure that you got a real connection with somebody, because even if you guys do break up, you still have that connection as a parent when it comes to how you're gonna take care of your kids.
And see, and that's another thing. It's nothing wrong. That's why I say, I had seen this since I had said single parents out here, they're the walking gods. Because for real, it's no way people do this by themselves. So that's also a thing to think about as well. Like, you want to jump and have a kid, but is your partner ready? Or is your partner going to be there? Because once you become a single parent, you're a single parent. That's just what it is. Because they supposed to do something, you know what I'm saying? But people still choose to not be in children's life. So you have to think about
at
that.
any given time.
Yeah,
At any given time.
that's true.
At any given time.
That's
That's
true.
also something to also think about. You got physically, you got mentally, you got emotionally, and you got, is this person gonna be with you though? I ain't no
To the
I-
end.
to the end, because I'm not trying to go into this thinking like
Even if we're not together, I need us to still be together for this child.
But then
I don't
let's think
care.
about this. When that child stand with you only, yes, that person is there with you, but when you come home at night, who is there with you? Nobody.
That's not
That's
always
not what I'm
true.
trying to think about.
But that's not always true though, Jay, because
If
just
you're a
because
single
you're a single parent, that don't mean you gotta be single forever.
Does not
At
mean-
that
does not
moment,
mean
you're not
that-
gonna have nobody.
Guess what? Like, you don't have to be single forever, but the person that you choose to bring in your life, that's not their responsibility. Your child is not their responsibility. So they don't have to be responsible and take care of your
True.
child. They can either take on the responsibility or leave. Now
And
you
that's,
have to
and
square
that's why
one again.
I said you be very, very wise about who you choose to bring into the life of your children. That's what that is. If
How
you-
about step one? Black people just need to start having sex and making children with a responsible person in the first place, rather than I made a people, but
People.
mostly I see mostly that some people.
No,
I'm speaking on my race.
Yeah, I'm speaking on my race. I don't have
Yeah,
a
you
yes to
speak
say
on your
for
race.
anyone
Speak
else's
on your
race, I'm
race.
black.
Speak on your race.
But like I said, just do it the correct way the first time, so you have no room for errors. That's how I feel. Whether you having a baby at 40, if that was your time and you actually found your soulmate to have your baby with, and y'all know this is gonna last.
For hour, you have that child at 40.
But stop going around
Instead, you have
having
that
kids
child
at
at
18
26.
and you lost and confused.
God.
Now you seeking for
What do y'all
different
think?
partners.
I don't even know what the question is.
Okay. You did walk in on the question already being responded to. Shiloh did hear it though, but the question is, kids, what do you think about them and when should you have them?
Exactly, they don't want to talk. So back to what I was saying.
I don't know, I always thought of like 30 to be the age, but even then, I don't know.
Spicy today.
I kind of want to have like kids early, maybe
What age is early?
like late 20s.
Okay, that's still early. That's right.
I feel like that's enough time. Yeah, maybe in like 7 years. it might be enough time to get my stuff together. And because you can like live with your kid, you don't gotta be old and wrinkly, have your kid doing everything for you. I don't have fun with my kid. But like they say, you gotta be, stable and stuff like that. So I'm gonna make sure that that happens. But I would like to watch my kid grow up and, be there for him and do activities with him and stuff like that, like a parent should.
Okay. Good. That's a good response. Late 20s is a good age to think about bringing kids into the world. What you got for us, Nico?
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off of what Shiloh said, like, for me, is if me and my partner feel like we ready to have a kid, type deal. Whether that be mid-20s, late 20s, whatever the case may be. But if I don't mind it, as long as I'm able to be there in my child's life, I feel like that's the bonus. So, yeah.
Okay. So, as far as so when I'm reading up on studies about what Gen Zers feel about bringing children into the world, it was like a 50-50 thing. Because you have
Gen
a lot
Zers
of,
already have kids.
well, and those are the ones that are okay with having kids. But those are also the ones that only want to have that one. They don't want another one after that one. They realize after they had that one what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
three people. Three
So-
kids at 22.
But that's in the city. When you think about nationwide and you take in accountability for numbers nationwide, it's a lot of children, younger adults, y'all age, that do not want to. And their responses was, and if we did have children, it would be in our later 20s, mid 20s. Once we're like graduated from college or into our careers and things like that, because a lot of that does happen around your late 20s.
I was running there.
With having the kids being born now, probably.
I don't blame them.
It was a lot of
You don't blame
kids.
the natural world on your
I ain't sit around during the pandemic.
No, they talking about it was like you was 16 during the pandemic.
It don't matter. If I was 16 making money during the pandemic, imagine what a 30-year-old could have been doing during the pandemic.
A lot of
You have
people,
kids.
and they ain't talking about 30-year-old. They talking about people y'all age. So he's
But
talking about
I
the ones
still
that
don't
y'all
blame
had
on the
babies with
pandemic.
now.
You
'Cause
grown
y'all just
laying
sit
down
around
using
chilling.
no condom and you got a child. That ain't the pandemic fault, that's yours.
Well, nobody said it was the
The pandemic
pandemic
did
fault.
not say. The pandemic did not say. During this time of
This is
world
a white
lockdown,
guy have kids.
during this time of lockdown, we just want you all to mate.
I mean,
Well,
with the time given now, that's what ended up happening.
that's what a lot of people are
I'm
doing.
not blaming no
Not a blame.
It's not.
He just said.
I know what he
I'm
said,
going
but
off
I'm
what he said.
saying it's not a blame.
It's
It's just what was going on at the time. It was during that time. A lot of people were home. A lot of people who were home, they was working from home. So you had a lot of that going on, and you had a lot of people y'all age. They just being grown, And not then in 2020 they popped out babies. 2021 babies came. By 2022 they was 1 year old.
I don't
1 year
know
old.
that fuck pandemic.
I mean, yeah, but it wasn't as.
Yes, it was, Nico. I
Yes,
know
it
where
was.
you live.
I'm gonna tell you, because all the kids that Rick popping out babies like
agreeing with
crazy.
y'all. What are you talking about?
No, you just said
I said,
Probably
yeah,
probably more during the pandemic. No, it was more
that's the
before
truth.
the pandemic.
No,
It was a lot.
a lot.
I said
It was a
it
boom.
was
It was a literal boom in the population.
Yeah, they said it was way more. It was a baby boom during the pandemic time. It really was. A lot of kids were born in the year 2021 from 2020.
That's insane.
Not really. We ain't had nothing to do.
Yeah,
We was sitting at home. They ain't had nothing to
It
do.
ain't a reason to just pop out the shit. I don't know.
So okay, 50-50 said they would have kids. 50-50. The other 50 said we're not worried about it. What do y'all think about that? Like, you already spoke about the people who having kids and all of that. Do you think that the people who have chosen not to have children are doing it because they're choosing them first, or do you feel like they just feel like it's a time and a place for everything?
It's a time and a place for
I
everything.
feel like they choosing them first.
What was the question?
At the end of the day, you know, if somebody say, I don't want to have a kid, man, you might have a better future than the person that had one. You don't know. Like,
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I know
because you
that
focus so
kids.
much on you.
No, I'm
So
not
it's
gonna say
like
that.
you don't have nothing holding you back.
But some people, kids make them go harder. So I'm not gonna say that because it could be a 19-year-old woman that had a child at not 18 years old, and she doing way better than a 40-year-old that's been on their own and still ain't had no kids her whole life. Yeah, but she never had a kid either. She never had a kid either. But that 19-year-old, she didn't hold that. She went ahead and had her kid. And that 40-year-old never had no kid. But
Let's
you
also
still
think
working
about
at
it like
McDonald's.
this though.
And this girl, she all the way over here. So
yeah, that's understandable too. But my question was, do you think the people was thinking about this? And I said, yeah, they said I'm gonna only think about me, bump a child.
I
child like to hold me back right now. Because really, if you to be completely honest, when people say they don't want to have kids, they just say, I've got to focus on my future and my life right now, or I don't want kids at all. So what are they doing? They only thinking about themselves. They only trying to make sure their future. They want to focus on them.
That's for a single group of people. But I feel like majority of people when they say that they don't want kids, for that it's just a time and a place. Sometimes it's a time and a place. Everybody just not living for themselves. They may be living for themselves at the moment, but it's still a time and a place where they eventually want to have offspring.
So y'all are really, really saying the same thing.
No, because she just said period. It's just she just said point blank period. They doing it for themselves. They don't.
Yeah, at that time.
No, then you say
no. With someone, when I ask somebody, do they want kids? They say I don't want kids ever in
Well,
life. They only want them on
at
themselves.
all.
Like even let's think about it. Auntie Angela, baby ain't want no child. She just popped up and had a kid,
but she had one.
But she popped up. It's not something she wanted in life.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? So she was thinking about herself, but she didn't slip up and had a child. So then she was thinking forward for her. Nothing about a kid. A kid just kind of interrupted her life.
But guess
That's
what?
what I'm saying.
Guess what? She had a decision. Guess what? So guess what I feel like?
Everybody want to abortion, baby.
No, but guess what I feel like? It's still a time and a place. When she found out she was pregnant,
That was a time and place for her, though.
It was her time because she had a decision to either think fast or think slow. And guess what? She made a decision and was like, okay, this is my time to have my child. I didn't want one, but maybe this is my time. Maybe this God telling me. Maybe this is my time. Maybe this God telling me I want a child.
How do y'all feel about that?
I feel like it's a time and place.
Time and place. Shalom.
Well, can you give me a gist?
Do you feel like that having a child is something that you just do and be like, it's a time? I mean, if there's a time and a place for it, or do you feel like you're not going to do it because you're only thinking about you? Do you not have the opportunity to think about anybody else?
Yeah, definitely a time and a place. You can't, if you have a child, you can't think about yourself. I had something else in my head, but it went away. But yeah, you can't think about yourself. So, to figure out the right time and place. If you see it, then grab it.
Yeah. It also depends on where you are in life too.
Yeah, that's huge though. And like a lot of people don't think about that, but it's really, really big to worry about where you are in your life, where you are on a stability point in your life. All that matters. You know what I'm saying? Because even though people did it without having everything that they were supposed to have, that's not something that they just completely thought like, dang, I would rather do it that way. They just knew how to maneuver and maintain to make it happen. So there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Versus when you plan it out, you know what you want to do. You planning to do this with a stable partner. Even if something happens between y'all, that person will still be there for you and that child. Because it's a lot of people that I've heard and talked to and spoken to and watched say these things that even if they split up with their partner, with the person they had children from, their person who has their child will never suffer, will never, and has made sure of that. Like it's
What you mean,
people,
like the whoever
whoever they had, whoever
they
has
had
the,
kids.
whoever, if you're in a more stable situation than your partner, than the person you had kids from, they never let the person who was more physically responsible for their child suffer. They, even if they took care of their child and made sure the person who was raising their child was straight too, because this thing is not just the mental capacity of the person who raising your child matters. If you like a person who ain't doing it full time, they know that. They know. Look at all she have to do, and look at all he have to do. I'm not doing half of that. I'm doing 25% of that. So if all I'm doing is 25% of what 100% of what the child needs, isn't it my goal to make sure that they're financially taken care of, that there are no issues, that if she need a break, I'm making sure I'm breaking my neck to get that break. It's always supposed to be a give and take situation, and people that are really in these situations for the good of the children look at it that way. And we've seen that. That's why I say they paint the picture in America of families that are broken more than they paint the pictures of the families that are not. Just because they have to paint the picture of a broken family, it looks better. Because that means you need more monies for resources. You gotta make sure the government is taking care of them on a level of health.
We're talking about child support.
All that. So, all right. So the next question is: with so much going on in our community that's violently, are you willing to, even if you get in your late 20s and all of those things are happening, are you thinking about? Is that on the forefront of your mind? The violent situation that you're bringing your children into, would that be on the forefront of if you decide to have children?
I mean, I feel like that depends on the life you live.
Right, exactly. I don't get myself in trouble, so
Yeah.
I don't even think about that when thinking about having a child. That's not the first thing that comes to mind.
Y'all say that's not the first. The violence is the violence in the community holding you back from having a child. Me personally,
I mean,
but like people get shot and killed from being bystanders. So like you can be innocent, like it can happen to anybody. So it is something to be like, dang. But like, am I first thinking about it? It's like, am I gonna stop having a child because of the violence? No, because that's gonna happen every day. It might even get worse. So if I'm gonna hold back on what I want to do in life because of the violence, nah.
Yeah, you just take more caution in how you move and the stuff that you're doing.
and what you allow your kids to see too.
Yeah, that too.
Okay. No, it's good and straight to the point. I like that. Now, as people who are in the community and having to live with this, just like y'all just said, that it's one of those sometimes it can happen, you just in the wrong place at the wrong time type situation. And with that even being the case, how do you feel about the increase in violence in the community of people like that that you may have went to school with, that you may have seen? Like, are you worried about people like that? But I know you guys say it does matter about the people who you hang around with, but knowing who you know, it don't matter if you hang around with them. You know that these things are happening, and people, y'all, teenagers could just be at a party, a pool party, a birthday party, and anything just break out. And then even if y'all not a part of the situation, you're a part of the situation now. How is that affecting how you all move as young adults now, with so much violence going on in your city?
I know I ain't moving over. I don't go nowhere.
Just don't be like
Yeah.
a follower, I say.
It's not. I feel like it doesn't even
Right,
have
right,
nothing to do
person.
with being a follower. because, like you say, you could be at a swim party, you can be at any
And
party.
we don't even have Amber, the sweetest girl in the world, but Amber just died. You know? Dude, what? Anyways,
I'm saying,
like I was saying, like,
don't get yourself into those kind of situations. Like, don't fall to like peer pressure or like someone inviting you to a party. If you know this person does like dumb stuff, then don't be a follower. Don't do it because you think it's cool, or get yourself into a bad situation because you want to have a little fun, and you're not gonna have fun later on.
And when you do go out, just build a routine. Like, if club closes at 2, around about 1:30, 1:15, whatever, you start making your way towards the door. Because you know what happened when the club let out. Like, just stuff like that. Just paying attention to the people, not only with you, but the people around you. Like, how they acting, how they moving. So.
Yeah, I was just saying, like I was saying, I don't really go out like that because of the violence. But also,
that's not why you don't go out. We're gonna have to be honest.
Dude, I don't go to a lot of clubs for real because I don't want to run from a shooting. I really don't. But
You don't have friends that go to clubs, so you don't go to clubs.
No, that's not true though. Because I do go to clubs with some people.
When's the last time you've been to a club?
Anyways, you arguing on podcast my life. Anyways, but that is one of the reasons. Like, I don't want to run from parties. Like Nico said, like when I do, I leave early. Go to a party, I leave early.
Listen,
at the end of the day and stuff.
Just stay home.
No, I could go out for 5 hours and leave early because I'm not finna get shot up because I know Jason and Daly finna shoot up this club because they've already seen it.
But what
we already know. So
you don't know anything.
Baby, you know them people shoot up. At every club they shoot up.
No, you don't.
That's scary.
It is scary.
That's why I wouldn't just go. You know?
Going.
I'm not going. I'm using my mind first.
That's what Shiloh just said. Don't go put yourself in situations that
so I'm not even about to go. If I feel like Danny and Shiloh gonna come shoot it up, why am I even heading to the club?
Because I don't know what time they shooting it up.
They can shoot it up.
At 9 o'clock.
Baby, I'm not saying we.
What I'm saying.
What I'm saying. But listen,
so that's what I'm saying. That's why. That's what I've been saying. That's what I was saying. No, wait, let me say this. And everybody can talk. That's why I was saying it doesn't matter where you at, who you with, what party it is, who hosted it. At the end of the day, you never know what will go on at the party. So if you feel your intuition telling you, oh, this party might get shot up, or you done heard, don't even go. Don't try to make it, oh, I'm gonna leave early, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Just stay home. If you're gonna go out, but you can't. It is a possibility always. In any area, not in any area, not just Tallahassee, that something could go wrong at a club. It's a possibility. That's just what we live in now. That's what we at with it now.
But what I'm saying, what you're not understanding, what I'm saying is I'm not knowing it's going to happen, but we all know in our mind that, dude, clubs get shot up every time. So in my mind, I'm not saying I know it's going to get shot up today, or I know who's doing it, but what I'm saying is clubs get shot up every time. So I still want to go out because maybe this won't happen tonight. I still want to go out. I'm just going to leave early because normally when that club gets shot up, it's when everybody walking out that door. So I'm not going to walk out the door with everybody. I'm going to walk out before everybody walks. I've already left the club before it's even over. So what I'm saying is I'm not knowing it's happening, or I'm not saying like, oh, okay, like people tell me, oh, baby, that club finna get shot today. I'm not saying I'm still going to go out. No, if I hear and I know it's gonna get shot up, I'm not going. But if I'm just going out on a random Friday, and we know clubs always get shot up, it's just in my mind, so I'm gonna leave early. Because this one might not get shot up, but all clubs
take precaution.
That's what I'm saying.
Because of the violence in the community, I'm not gonna dictate that from me having a child or not. If I'm not having
that no more.
That was the question overall. So me going out in the community and having a good time, not knowing if I'll make it home one night, will not dictate me having a child. That's just like saying, oh, you only have one life, so I'm not gonna have a child because I think, we might die.
We all gonna die.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
So you do have to. It's having a child just like any other thing. You're taking a chance on anything in the growth process. Nico, you were going to say something. Do you want to continue to say it, or did you forget?
I was just gonna say you just can't live your life in fear. Like certain things you really just gotta take a chance on. Cause you never, like you said, you never know what could happen. It could be something good for you going to that part. You never know unless you step out of your comfort zone.
So the Gen Z families have changed. There's a lot more difference in the structure of the Gen Z families. You have more of more of the LBGT communities in the families. They're raising children.
I'm like Charleston White.
Relax.
Dude.
So we have a different time zone now going on when it comes to children being raised in the community.
Yeah, it's a
with y'all.
I didn't
even finish saying it. But wait, Jay, I want you to hold that thought because I do want you to respond to this. In a world where so many things are changing and evolving into different things, they're bringing robots into the situation. They're going to have, you already got the LGBT community real strong with taking care of kids now. You know what I'm saying? They got families, they raising children. And then you have the regular family structures, all right? With many different changing things and many different things happening. How do you all feel the outcome? Because this is why we ask these questions, because your children are going to have to be in these communities with other people's children.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just growing up to be in a house all the time by themselves. You know what I'm saying? They got to be able to talk and deal with other people's children. How do you all think the element of being together in y'all community with raising children with all the different backgrounds now of how it's being done is going to affect how your children grow? And you gotta be realistic. You can't just be like, I can do this and I can make my child do that and I can do that. You got to think about the realness of what they're going to be exposed to.
I'm a firm believer of the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Like, it's not just you and your spouse raising your child. Like, you need to surround your child around good folks, like adult figures in their life who could give them, wisdom, words of wisdom and stuff. Like, prime example, me and Shallow. Like, I've known Shallow basically all my life. Like, I look at his dad like I look at my dad basically. So
yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, give us like his dad be dropping gems on me that maybe my dad might have not known. Vice versa can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So people know different things, and so having only two like parental figures might just not be enough to raise like a fully functional person. They gotta get a bunch of different perspectives to really create their own.
That's true. So
I would say do the people in the world impact how your children is raised. It definitely is. But all I can do is teach my child what I can teach them to make. Hopefully they do. Take what I teach them. But like for instance, if I teach my son gangs are not okay, don't do that. That's not good. Kids gonna always make their own decisions. So if he decides to do that, I can only try to pull him away. Same instance with, the LGBTQ community. I'm teaching my kid, don't do that, don't be that. But if you decide to do that, all I can do is be your, your mom and love you. So I do think the society impact how your child is raised, because you can raise your kid to be the best kid in the world, but society's gonna bring that child out and really show them who they want to be and what they do.
Not
It
all
is
the time.
okay, dude.
Not all the time.
Dude.
If you raise
Your
your
mama
kid,
and
no,
daddy just
listen.
raised you, dude.
Listen, if you raise your kid to have a strong mind, society can tell your child whatever they want to. They can try to pull them into whatever.
But I said if they don't take it or if they do, you always gonna go against me.
You
Like I
have a
just said,
strong
wrong.
mind. No, you said all I can do is love you and take you in. Not if they
No, I
have
said
a
that's
strong
what
enough
being gay.
mind.
Shut up, Tommy.
If you've been raised your whole life to not be gay, and you easily got influenced, no, just listen.
You want this gay train real bad,
And you
and that's
easily
not my
got
whole point.
just listen to what I'm saying, cause it's the statement I'm making. If you've been raised to be gay or not to be gay your whole life, and you go out to society, you see two gay couples, and you easily influence, oh, I want to be gay. Your mind is not strong. Because you were never taught that. But you seen it one time, that influenced you to make you feel like, okay, this is the decision I want to make. You wasn't raised to have a strong enough mind. You're not strong.
That don't mean you wasn't raised though. I still raised you to have a strong mind. People just go out and do what they want to do. That's just what it is.
Not
The
strong
kid, that's not true, Erica. Just because somebody see a gay couple do and they say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," maybe they just trying that. That don't mean they mind not
If
strong.
you
They
try
just
to
want
be
to be
gay,
Exactly.
so
But all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that my kid is not raised to have a strong mind, but you're gonna still, kids are still gonna go on and make their own decisions, dude. Even if you raise them to have the strongest mind in America, they still gonna go do what they want to do. And just because you raise your kid, if I came home and I said, and I raised my kids to be the strong, he ain't did nothing wrong, but he decide on this day, you know, I'm gonna join the game. But I never raised him to do that. That's wrong, that's bad, that's do it. Kids do what they want, because they have to be taught themselves, dude. So, I really don't get what you're saying. Just as a child, go and say, I'm gonna
If
sit with
you-
girls
if you-
today,
if you're-
don't
if
be
you're-
on my phone.
if you raise your shot, stand alone, don't ever be in the game. Gang or rag, son, you still decide to go be in the game. You allowing it.
No,
You
I
just
never
said
said,
That's
dude.
basically what you
I never
said.
said I'm allowed. I said
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still pulling them away. Did I not know more? I said I'm still pulling them away, but kids still do what they want to do.
So you're allowing it.
Okay, bro.
It's not allowed.
Dude,
It's
I'm
not
not gonna go
allowed.
back and forth with you, dude.
Allowing
That
it.
is allowed. Yes, it is. Because if you
Calm
pull your
down.
child out
Calm
of it,
down.
that's still going back to it. You haven't been enough to make your child
So,
understand.
No,
oh,
that's not
so,
true.
don't do this.
E.
I
Are
see
you
how
saying?
y'all kids
None, wait a minute.
What, girl? You already learned that people whoop your kids. That they come around me. Anyway,
Jada,
Kids
wait
don't have
a
to be
minute.
beat.
We have other
That's
people
what
on the
you do.
panel who want to respond.
Kids don't have to be beat.
Respond, guys.
know what I'm saying?
Jada, wait.
Wait. I'm
Oh my
This is like that. That's just like mom teaching me. Moms keep teaching me, Jada, don't do that. That's wrong. I still wouldn't do it because I did what I want to do. That don't mean her parenting skills was bad. That just mean maybe I don't listen. I just chose to do it. That don't mean she didn't raise me to have a strong mind. I just do what I want. Do you not understand that?
And guess what? Every time you did, guess what you got? A whooping.
But that still don't mean my mind isn't strong. Cause I still got that whooping and left out and did it again, dude. So what you're not understanding is that don't mean her parenting skills was wrong or that she didn't teach
Something
me
went
right.
wrong with the parenting skills.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Something
Okay.
went wrong with the parenting skills.
All right,
You
I'm done. I'm
did-
done.
No, listen, something went wrong with the parenting skills. You still had the audacity to disobey your parents. After
That
and
ain't
over
that
and over and over
If
and
my
over
skills,
again.
if my parenting skills ain't changed, my rules ain't changed, isn't it? That's finding different ways to do it now.
Exactly. You
Go ahead, guys.
Anyways, go ahead.
Good.
Question? What was the question?
I know.
It wasn't even a question. They just went.
It was a whole different. They went another way because we were talking.
No, based on the question
Okay.
is if you're
They answered. Everybody answered the question.
Okay, now I have another. My last little piece of the podcast for the show. since we have an agree to disagree on certain aspects of how that goes, and I like that. I like that everybody does have their own opinions about certain things. But I do want to remind you that until you become a parent and you're in the situation, you can say as many times as what you will and what you won't do, what you will and what you won't accept. And that's on life, because there's gonna be times when you want to put your foot down to the extreme, and the hurt in your children's eyes will make you decide otherwise. So it's not always as easy.
You say we? Yeah, I think it is too.
Come on, dude.
I think it is too. When I see the pain and suffering,
It's not your child.
I don't care.
It's a difference. It's a difference when it's your child. But so and to go to the next, to take that into the next response, the to and fro. I wanted to ask, do you all consider yourselves people who should raise children?
Not
And
right now.
Yeah, not now.
I'll
Wait, huh? My bad.
do you consider yourself a person who should raise a child, bring children into the world?
Oh yeah, no, not at this very moment.
I believe I
I
can.
can.
When the time comes,
Yeah.
when the time comes, I do believe I will be ready due to the support system around me and the village around me.
You might as well have a kid.
Don't just tell him that right now.
I don't know. My village ain't big enough to have one right now. So it ain't happening.
It ain't gotta
I don't care about no
be,
village.
it ain't gotta be Wakanda.
I don't care about no village because at the end of the
It
day,
need to be somebody because the mama don't want count. Grandma need that woman. So
You gotta have a village. A village
no,
matters.
you don't. Village is all
You
BS.
don't
They
know
always
nothing.
try to make it
Y'all had a village.
And where's the village now?
Don't matter. You had a village. Don't matter if you feel like your village is there or not.
You can't be told nothing or nothing. I can't wait till you be the best mom.
I am. In the world.
I am. Hope y'all kids stay away from her.
They
Like,
can't
go
go.
wrong because you won't even pop your child. You can't go around.
beatings do not always be mean that they get in
That's the
trouble.
problem with the black women. We keep whooping on. Keep whooping.
Oh my God.
Kids gonna be at CPS.
All right, y'all. So based on today's show, we know that Gen Z is either gonna have them or they not. It ain't no in between. It ain't no this. It ain't no that. They're going to either focus on themselves, which includes their generational education, how they want to grow and how they want to live. Because sometimes you just don't want to have kids, and that don't make you a bad person. But they would, based on some of the research that I did. This is another thing I was going to say. Based on some of the research that I did leading up into this show, it was stated that because Gen Z has a higher rate of not wanting to have children than any other generation before, there's going to be less progression in the world. Because if you don't have people to do, they're trying to say that, robotics can do certain things, but these are the general service positions that the world holds, where that's in state government, city government, things like that. They're saying that the threshold for that is going to drop, which is going to lower the manpower and financial grip that society can gain from people being a part of society. So if things change and they plummet and people stop having kids, that means that you stop having resources. So how do you all, that's what I wanted to ask y'all before we close out the show and make it quickly. How do you all feel about knowing that the choice that you're choosing, that your generation is choosing to not procreate, is going to affect how you all live in the future? Because it will.
You said this what the statistics is?
Yeah.
Just because a lot of us don't want kids. Well, hey, I guess we'll just be kids.
It's not. It's the kids. It's saying that because you're not creating a future of people, because you're lowering the rate of people being born.
Oh.
If you're not helping to create more people, then you're going to lower the resource pool that you have as a society.
Can they give us time?
They need this.
The time is now.
Not for a lot of us. Like you said, it's time to play.
Well, I'm older than y'all, so that's what I'm saying.
Like y'all said, it's time to play.
You're gonna be 40. You're
I
gonna be
mean,
2. You gotta let it go. You gotta. But what I was gonna say is for every person that probably goes. Listen,
You
what
might
I'm
have
saying.
you're about to be 20.
What I'm trying to say is, for every person that doesn't have a child, somebody having 10 kids. That go to other people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's not true. Joe.
Well, it's definitely true.
We're not
I
talking
don't
about
even
one.
know.
We're not talking about 1 in 10 people that y'all see on these.
It's not about what I see. It's not about just that. It's just not about that.
People not having.
I
This
bet
is
it's
real
true.
life
I bet it's
reality.
true.
Like you say, but no, but that's true for every person that's not having kids. It's a person that got 10, and they gotta have kids.
They gotta have kids.
But we're talking about in y'all age bracket alone. We're talking about Gen Z.
is a
People who are born between 1995 and 2002, 2005. That's Gen Z.
Oh, I see. I'm thinking Gen Z is all the kids that's being created right now. But 2005, I can see a lot of kids. So I'm just gonna be quiet because I've seen a lot of people have kids.
The next generation
And
is
I
gonna
don't
be
really
called Gen something else. The ones that's created
That's
that
gonna
was
be my kids.
born. Let me see. I think it go. That's what I believe it go to.
Because they make us question everything. Gen Y.
Dude, you're dumb. No, but this go get it. Why would y'all do that? Generation.
Why we using
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, you're right. It stopped in 2012, not 2005. 2012. So it's 1997 to 2012.
Yeah, you gotta
That's
give
all-
us time. I can't answer
That's
that
all
question.
of Gen Z.
You gotta give the people time. The people gotta grow up.
And whereas for me, my brother the same generation. You know that.
You thought you was in a different generation? Cool?
Yeah.
So, what y'all? Anybody got a closeout statement that they want to say in regard to that? What do you all to close out the show? Tell the people how y'all feel about creating the next generation.
I feel like as a human being, you know, just being born and, you know, living on the planet, I feel like you're supposed to have a kid at some point in time, you know. And if you don't want to have a kid, you can either, you know, well, I see people who don't want kids as like, they could either be really useful, like they can go out and like help people and like create foundations or, you know, just go and help people in the ways that they can. They won't have a kid, you know, holding them down. Or they can, you know, just focus on themselves, and that's cool, but you're not doing anything to advance civilization, so really,
There he is.
what are you here for?
Oh wow.
Yeah, like,
Honestly.
so you saying
Those people got a
so
life.
you saying if you don't have a baby, go help deliver the babies. That's what you
Yeah,
saying.
if you're not, yeah, right.
I don't have to do nothing.
Don't contribute to.
Then you're not.
Then you say you useless.
Just die.
Yeah, keep you out the
Just die.
Keep it out there. I mean,
Well,
that's
guess
what you're
what?
doing. If you're not helping people, you're not.
That's what they do.
You know,
I don't have to
living
help
for yourself is
anybody.
cool too.
Yeah, it is.
If
Living for yourself is cool, and that's exactly what I want to do.
you're not helping,
Girl, you
Time
gonna
and
have
place.
kids.
Time and place.
You want everybody to be. You want to be a grandma so bad. You need to calm down.
No, I did say that. I said she gonna have kids. She already said it.
Time and place.
But
Definitely.
so
But I don't feel like you're useless just because you're not giving to the kid community. Or you're not helping with it. Like, that don't matter.
You're not useless, but
So Some people can't even have kids, so what they is.
That's just how
And I'm not
That's
adopted.
different for the ones who
I'm
can't
saying
have
you're
kids.
not contributing to the advancement of civilization and humanity.
That's what he
Is
said
they
about
contribute what?
humanity.
Are they
humanity.
contributing to me
At all. They're not contributing to me.
Who are you?
Oh my God.
So who cares if I don't have kids? Why am I useless? Since it's who is me?
I mean,
Because I'm asking to be a man.
Because the only thing I was put on this earth to do was live a life.
No.
Not live a life to.
Technically, you
No.
were on this earth
I mean,
to procreate.
To
yeah,
procreate.
that's
different.
Says that. Says who?
Does it say that in the Bible?
Yes.
Okay, show me the chapter.
When my mama had me,
1 second.
when my mama,
Listen, but everybody has a purpose.
and what is my purpose not to have kids?
Your purpose it don't have to be. He didn't say that. See, that's where you left at.
But my
He didn't
purpose
say the
don't mean
purpose
it
has
has to.
No, to some form of contribution to humanity. Humanity, bettering humanity is what he said. He
not
didn't
to
say
say
it had to
you're
be.
useless, but you know, contribute something.
That's be fruitful and multiply. What? Come on.
Actually, that is man-made.
What you said, he said,
Thank
don't
you.
be.
We
You
can
said,
sign
but
that
you
down.
told him to go to the Bible, and then you told him that he said to be fruitful and multiply, and
It
that's
doesn't
what multiply.
specifically say.
It don't mean multiply
Alright, here you go.
animals,
I mean, reproduction
So
is
God
like
created
and that's even
human
with
beings.
animals. Though.
universal.
So God created human beings in his own image. In the image of God, he created the male and female.
You don't have to read that. That was
Then
man-made.
God blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and govern it.
And I'm a Christian, and I know that. That's man-made. Yes,
Anyways, like I'm gonna say is, how do I feel about it? I feel like if somebody don't have to have kids and that's not their purpose, and their purpose not to help people around the world, that don't consider them useful. These people probably just want to live a calm, peaceful life, and that ain't to deal with these people in this world. So listen, I don't blame
The
kids
kids bring too much stress. I'm not
I don't
about
blame
financial
because my thing is my purpose could probably be to help 100,000 people. What's those people doing for me?
That's so good.
I don't owe nobody nothing.
Mellow.
Oh my goodness,
And
a
that's-
doggy dog world
It's
like
not
that.
being a what?
Selfless.
Oh, I like
If they
being
were selfless, I'd be helped right now.
Selfless,
But right now,
not
I'm digging in the
selfish.
dirt.
But I'm
digging
saying
for
I
help.
like being selfish.
You like being selfish.
I mean, I understand that. I like my personal, you know, I like to feel like
Selfish.
Two different
I like
things.
selfishness as well. Like being selfish is a good thing, you know. Personal health, honestly, and mental
That's
health.
when we're doing self-love and all those type of things, and we're taking the time for ourselves. But being selfless is what keep you blessed.
Right.
Being selfless is what keep you keeping on. And being
Being blessed
selfless
does not
is,
mean you have to help 100,000.
that's well, it ain't about helping 100,000. You can help 1 in 3 months. It's just what it is. You are supposed to do something to benefit another person in this world in your time.
That makes you feel better
Yeah.
as well as a person.
And even if you're not expecting nothing,
She's heartless. She literally is.
that's
She
difficult.
said, "Don't make her feel nothing."
Okay.
I don't know if she's human.
So, we're gonna close out the show. We're gonna definitely close out the show. I appreciate y'all today. Y'all were very, very colorful. Had lots of different opinions today. Everybody wasn't in just agreements, and I appreciate that because it brings a little bit of more open conversation, like something that lingers a little bit more than y'all just going straight through to the next topic. So thank y'all for tuning in. We will see these young people, young adults, on the second Wednesday of October. Maybe not. I'll get back to y'all on that. On the second Wednesday of October. So and once I'll keep y'all posted, but until then, y'all know, y'all keep Gen Z in y'all minds and y'all thoughts and y'all hearts.
And since this is a world of selflessness, help me then.
Oh my God. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all so much. Peace.
No, dude.
Shut up.